From now on, we got a new slogan. Shot in the head, you get a bed, okay?
When you think outside the bun, sometimes you have to ask,
where's the beef?
When you wanna eat fresh. That's right, we're taking a look at fast food slogans that completely died. See which ones you remember.
I remember everything.
We love to see you smile.
Nice to see you smiling, Bob.
As long as we've had the luxury of fast food, we've been bombarded with flashy signage, catchy jingles, relentless advertising campaigns, and a parade of sometimes questionable mascots. But the most important tactic for keeping a product constantly on our minds might be the unforgettable slogans. Winners like Burger King's
Have it your way.
and KFC's
It's finger looking good.
are all-time greats, but not every slogan seen on a billboard is a success. And the biggest fast food chain of them all has seen its share of slogans over its many decades. But one McDonald's marketing line you might not remember is, this nationwide number ran under the Golden Arches from 2000 to 2003 and was used for both the breakfast and daytime menus.
We love it.
It was shelved, however, for a new campaign in light of McDonald's slumping business at the turn of the century. Its short run is now only notable as the last major ad slogan used before the introduction of the modern juggernaut that remains on top even today.
I'm loving it.
The 2003 I'm Lovin' It campaign marked the first and only time McD's rolled out a single set of jingles and commercials with a unified slogan in every one of its markets across the globe. The $6 million McDonald's paid singer Justin Timberlake to write and perform the jingle was worth it, and it's never been out of the picture since. It's now the longest-running slogan ever used by the company, so we can all be forgiven for forgetting the ones that came before it, even if it was something as complimentary as "We love to see you smile."
I'm actually more motivated by compliments. You might want to adjust your tone.
Make it Mac tonight.
I can't make it tonight.
Even if it sounds like it, this slogan isn't about mac and cheese. As much as I'm Lovin' It is the gold standard of McDonald's slogans, it wasn't the first advertising success in company history. The home of Ronald McDonald had seen nearly 50 separate USA-specific marketing campaigns over its almost 70-year-long existence. And Ronald McDonald has had his share of other mascots that have moved in with him over that time, too. In the 1980s, Mac Tonight was one of each, a mascot and a marketing slogan. A bizarre burger-pushing, piano-playing, moon-headed crooner in sunglasses, Mac's jazz piano singles ended with the slogan,
Make it Mac tonight.
or sometimes the shortened,
Mac tonight.
The character was designed to be separate from the other cast of McDonald's mascots like Ronald, Grimace, Birdie, and the Hamburglar, who were aimed at kids and targeted the late-night munchies crowd instead.
I made you a late-night snack.
However, the silly singer's over-the-top image eventually became a hit with the little ones too, and a series of Mac Tonight Happy Meal toys were even released. Over a 3-year run from 1986 to 1989, Mac Tonight and his strange shtick were popular enough that it aired in almost 30 separate commercials and wound up being quite a hit. But there were no jazzy gold records in the future of the Golden Arches, as Mac Tonight was a parody of popular singer Bobby Darin, and both the slogan and campaign got dropped after a lawsuit from Darin's estate. Make It Mac Tonight is now 6 feet under, but some might say its legacy went straight to the moon.
You're like a rock star.
Toasty.
Toasty. Yeah.
This dead slogan didn't go straight to the moon, but it did come directly from the toaster oven. Quiznos brought forth the
Toasty
slogan in 2003, but it wasn't until 2004 that toying with some outside-the-box marketing helped it take off. Viral commercials featuring singing rodents dubbed the Sponge Monkeys ran throughout 2004, and whether you loved them or hated them, they became synonymous with Quiznos' new sandwich slogan. The off-putting musical mascots eventually gave way to Talladega Nights actor Michael Clark Duncan doing some much smoother voice work, including repeated readings of the trademark The slogan transitioned over the years and nowadays is a very simplified without any toasty at the end.
Nothing at all.
In July 2023, Quiznos decided to go back to what once worked with a digital marketing campaign featuring the inevitable return of the Sponge Monkeys after 2 decades away, along with a small tagline reading, Toasty, that almost harkens back to the original. With all this Quiznos nostalgia, hopefully the return of its famous pepper bar won't be far behind.
We're waiting.
New to BabbleTop? Okay, we might not have a catchy slogan, but if you hit that subscribe button, you'll get your fill of catchy videos. So go ahead and smash it. Thanks. We speak fish.
But a fish speaks in plain English.
Bug-eyed guitar-strumming rodent puppets aren't exactly an appealing visual, but thoughts of a picturesque blue ocean might calm your nerves. That is, as long as you speak the language, which, according to a now-deceased slogan, was the language of fish. Some folks find crashing waves and singing whales to be soothing sounds, but this nonsensical seafood slogan seemed to get people riled up. Long John Silver's had its 50th anniversary in 2019, but nearly a decade beforehand, in 2011, the chain wanted to update its image.
It's a chance to reinvent ourselves.
The company debuted a new logo alongside a fresh slogan,
We speak fish.
While it was never made clear whether it meant talking specifically about fish, squishing your lips and talking like fish, or some kind of telepathic communication like Aquaman, the simple but strange slogan eventually got thrown overboard. Abandoning its confusing campaign, Long John Silver's finally got its sea legs and came up with a much better play-on-words tagline, Seize Every Moment. As groan-inducing as ocean puns can be, it's still better than the one that made us wish we were lost at sea so we'd never have to think of We Speak Fish ever again.
He was never found.
Where's the beef?
Where's the bait? Where's the bait?
Before this slogan, Wendy's old-fashioned hamburgers hadn't found much success with their previous campaign slogan that debuted in 1980,
Wendy's has the taste.
and pivoted in 1984 with the debut of a persistent elderly lady and her constant search for more meat.
Where's the beef?
Commercials were an instant hit, promoting Wendy's square patties as having more surface and size than its competitors. Granny's catchphrase became so popular that it even spawned a hit top 40 single of the same name and was uttered by presidential hopeful Walter Mondale during the 1984 presidential election.
When I hear your new ideas, I'm reminded of that ad. Where's the beef?
The fad eventually crashed down to earth, not even lasting 2 years. Despite being responsible for a 30% jump in annual sales numbers for Wendy's, the Where's the Beef actress portraying the old lady wound up finding a bigger paycheck and jumped ship to do ads for Prego pasta sauce. So where is the beef? Well, when it comes to this slogan, it's now buried under a tombstone.
What are you doing? I'm burying you.
Do what tastes right.
Nothing tastes right today.
Not all of Wendy's ad campaigns became pop culture mainstays, and this slogan falls into that category. It pushed a good idea, but lacked the catchiness or creativity of the true greats. Debuting in 2005,
Do what tastes right.
actually had a longer lifespan than Where's the Beef, but the now-deceased slogan didn't deliver the sales numbers of its predecessor. The concept spoke to a newly introduced idea of Wendy's combos having the option of choosing from 7 different sides, instead of being stuck with just fries.
We need more. And we'll get it.
7 different options were released: yogurt parfait, a bag of Lay's baked potato chips, a side salad, a side Caesar salad, chili, baked potato, and, of course, the classic fries. In the end, the only thing that tasted right to customers was that they still wanted fries most of the time, and the slogan shuffled off in less than 3 years.
You'll never hear from me again!
Think outside the bun.
You gotta be creative. You gotta think outside the bun.
Like a limited time only option on a menu, some slogans come and go. But over the last 20 years, Taco Bell has found a pair of slogans more satisfying than a cheesy gordita crunch. Since opening its doors in 1978, the company struggled to pin down a long-standing tagline until landing on
Think outside the bun.
in the early 2000s. Taco Bell spent decades prior sticking out in a fast food market that was dominated by burgers, and more burgers, and they only accentuated their unique identity by introducing this slogan.
Let me introduce.
The Bell had effectively banned the bun its entire existence, with unique Mexi-inspired creations like the Quesalupa, Doritos Locos Tacos, and even the elusive Mexican pizza. The Think Outside the Bun slogan was plastered on cups, wrappers, and billboards. The slogan was big enough that it ran for more than a decade before finally handing off the baton to
Leave Moss.
in 2012. It was a worthy successor, itself running for more than a decade and still going strong for Taco Bell today. At least the slogan had a dignified retirement after a long run, unlike some of its predecessors.
At least I'm doing better.
Eat fresh.
Eat fresh? Eat fresh?
One of the longest-running slogans in fast food history spent enough time on top that it eventually went as stale as a week-old cold-cut combo. A years-long campaign of commercials featuring actor Jon Lovitz pushed Subway's healthy image under the tagline,
Eat fresh.
but the veggie-based image finally wound up in the compost heap. By the time the slogan was introduced in the year 2000, Subway had already expanded globally to over 16,000 locations across the world. A decade later, on the heavy lifting of the Eat Fresh campaign, the company had an even larger global footprint than McDonald's by 2010, reaching their franchise summit in 2015.
We made it!
But their aggressive franchising policy saw a drop in quality across the board, and sales suddenly and drastically plummeted. Just 5 years after its peak, Subway had closed nearly 6,000 locations, and Eat Fresh started to phase out in 2018. Ever since, Subway experimented with
Make it what you want.
a brief return to Eat Fresh, and then an adjustment from that as
Eat fresh, refresh.
in 2021, hoping this final refresh will shoot sales numbers back to their former glory.
Well, maybe.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
And teaching how to say Quiero Taco Bell. Thanks a lot, Rico Suave.
Before Taco Bell was thinking outside the bun or living moss, they had a popular mascot that ended up in some hot water. The slogan,
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
might be the most straightforward fast food tagline ever, directly translating from Spanish to I want Taco Bell. Its deployment on the national stage, however, was anything but straightforward. From the fall of 1997 to the summer of 2000, the catchphrase was pushed in a series of commercials by a dog, a Chihuahua with a cartoon voice. And for the most part, it was a hit.
It was great.
Both official and bootleg merchandise sprang up everywhere, from toys to t-shirts to stuffed animals, all employing the infamous Taco Bell tagline. But the outlandish ads weren't popular with everyone, particularly when portraying the Chihuahua in a sombrero and a Che Guevara-style beret, emboldening Mexican and Cuban stereotypes, and creating a large controversy amongst the Mexican-American population. The slogan's popularity burned out in less than 3 years on the market, and Yo quiero Taco Bell tapped out for a permanent siesta.
Looks like my time is up.
Honorable mention, all of them from Arby's.
All of them?
All of them.
Before we hit the final slot on lost slogans, take a quick sec and give this video a thumbs up. Now, Arby's might be the boss of roast beef, but despite perfecting that sandwich, they have struggled mightily over the years to come up with slogans that are as good as their sandwiches. The new millennium has been a never-ending clown car of slogans for Arby's, starting with the
Now that your tastes have grown up.
campaign in 2000 that tried to poke fun at their competitors who offered toys, play places, and kids menus. That was very quickly tweaked to
Satisfy your grown-up taste.
in 2001, before the shift to
I'm thinking Arby's.
came along in 2005.
It was before.
After 4 years of thinking Arby's, the company was thinking of yet another slogan and introduced Worth Every Penny in 2009. Just 1 year later, It's an Arby's Thing hit billboards before being quickly replaced with
It's good mood food.
followed by
Slicing up freshness.
It's okay if you've lost count by this point because Arby's probably did too. They must have been sick of the revolving door of slogans, settling on
We have the meat.
in 2014, and amazingly, leaving it untouched to this day.
Surprise.
Pizza Pizza.
Pizza, pizza, pizza.
Much like Mark Twain, the rumors of this slogan's demise were greatly exaggerated. Little Caesars'
Pizza, pizza.
slogan first hit markets in 1979 and was originally intended solely for a 2-for-1 pizza deal that was sold in an extra-long pizza box, with 2 pies sitting side by side in the one box. Over the years, the slogan then became synonymous with the brand as a whole, but a near-decade-long decline in business during the 1990s prompted a change, and Pizza Pizza was put out to pasture in 1998.
It's our time.
Little Caesars had decided to switch advertising agencies and focus on local marketing instead of national campaigns. But 14 years of experimenting with regional ads proved just as fruitless. Returning to the national stage, the once flatlined Pizza was brought back to life by a defibrillator of deliciousness in 2012 and is now healthier than ever.
Even more powerful than Master Yoda.
Stay right here and tap or click for another great video. Show us some love and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell.